Hello. Now, not everyone who buys at auction is there as an investor.
That's right, it can be an effective and very quick way to buy your own home.
And there are literally hundreds of auctions happening throughout the country. So take your seat in the front row for today's Homes Under the Hammer.
Tackling a rundown property can tap into skills you never knew you had.
Yes, you could discover you're a born decorator, or maybe you should leave it to the professionals.
So let's see how the chips fell on today's show.
This Devon cottage is rough around the edges, but has untold potential. It clearly needs some working on, but as a space, I mean, can you imagine what you could do with this?
In London, is there a gap in the market for this top-floor studio flat?
You've got a big old hole through the ceiling and you can actually see the roof.
And this end of terrace in Manchester has some very strangely shaped rooms. Very unusual, never seen anything like that before.
All of these properties went to auction.
253.
And we'll find out who bought them.
82.
And what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
Congratulations.
I'm in Notting Hill, London, in the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. It's home to Portobello Market, the Notting Hill Carnival, and the streets are featured in numerous films. It's no surprise, then, that the area is known for attracting a creative and fashionable crowd.
The local area is brimming with stylish boutiques and trendy cafes which cater to a bohemian clientele.
Notting Hill is also known for its attractive terraces of large Victorian townhouses. So, you'll be expecting big things from this place. Well, the property I'm here to see had a guide price of £240,000, and it's on top of this beautiful building. So let's go and see if this place is en vogue or more en rogue.
Despite the rather grand exterior, the auction lot I'm here to see is a humble attic conversion studio apartment. It's a long way up, but I'm hoping the view will be well worth it.
That is some serious stair climbing, I can tell you. We are right at the top of the building. In fact, I think we're in the eaves here. And it's in a bit of a state. Look at all this rubbish everywhere. You've got a big old hole through the ceiling and you can actually see the roof. It is right there. So a little bit of work to be done here, I think. One of the bonuses, though, it is nice and light. You've got a big window there. You've got a lovely, lovely big window here. You can see it's been cut out of the roof. And over here, look at this, gorgeous, really nice big arched window. That's such a feature of the room. And one of the best things is there's that beautiful church just looking at me. You see, I'd never tire of that. Now, is there a kitchen in this little bijou place?
From my window, I see the world pass me by, and the world looks fine.
The view's glorious and is a real selling point, but the living space is a right old mess.
Well, here's the kitchen, and yes, you've guessed it, it's tiny, but it's lovely and light, and of course there's enough space to rustle up a good meal. Not that you're going to want to stay in if you live around here, but for the right person, I think this could be such a cool little pad.
Oh, baby, you're so cool.
As for the bathroom, it's tucked away in a teeny tiny corner. Space is at a premium in this apartment, but with a little imagination, I reckon it could be reconfigured, making it comfortable and cosy rather than cramped and confined. I noticed the properties on both sides have mansard extensions, a type of roof conversion with steep slopes. Constructing one of these would require planning permission, but would allow you to turn this studio apartment into a one-bedroom flat. We asked a local estate agent to give us the bottom line on this top-floor apartment, which had a guide price of £240,000.
This particular part of Notting Hill is very popular and has actually got a lot more so in the last 2 or 3 years. The type of people that we have traditionally buying here tend to be late 20s to late 30s, tend to be either city or media based, and it's certainly a very sort of popular area. I think someone's got the opportunity to create a really nice space here. You have got the opportunity to add value here, I feel, and I think you could turn it into a one-bedroom flat, which you would certainly expect to increase the price.
If the property was renovated to a good standard, what could it sell for?
If the apartment was to be refurbished in its current layout, I think you'll be looking at a resale of between £300,000 and £320,000. If the apartment was converted into a one-bedroom, I feel you'll be looking more towards the £400,000 mark.
And rental income?
If the apartment was renovated in its current layout, I would expect it to achieve £1,400 per calendar month. If the property was converted into a one-bedroom apartment, I would expect it to achieve £1,800 per calendar month.
Well, in a nutshell, it's like being in a nutshell. It is a tiny place, but I think it's got heaps of potential. And the real selling point of this flat has to be this location. Let's see who was nutty about this one over at the auction.
Have 200, not going to go below 200. 200, 205, 210, 215, 220, 225, 230, 235, 240, 242, 243, 244, 245, 246, 250, 251, 252, 253. It's with you at 252. 253. 252. First time, second time, third and last time. Have you all done?
With his successful bid of $252,000, the buyer was Colin. His purchase price was £2,000 over the stamp duty threshold, so that rounds his purchase price up to just under $260,000. He's embarking on a career as a property developer after 10 years running his own bathroom design business.
Colin, what a fantastic auction.
Indeed, yeah. For me, I'm very pleased with what I bought.
You were straight in there with your bids. I mean, you even went up a few thousand before you should have done, actually.
Well, I was kind of nervous about the 250 mark because of the stamp duty increase, and when someone else went, I think, to 246, I thought, well, I want to try and stop it by going to 250, but unfortunately it didn't work.
So you really wanted this place, didn't you?
I did. In that auction, I looked at 2 properties, and this was the one I really wanted of the 2.
So why did you want this place? What is it about this little flat?
Well, I love the area. I think it's a super area. I think it's a super property, but I also think it's got potential to be something very different, and I think I can do something with it, which I think a lot of the other places I saw, I couldn't see that potential.
So you weren't put off by this? You didn't walk up all those flights of stairs, get here and think,
No, I didn't, no. In fact, it was interesting because the people who were around me, who were also looking, were all immediately put off by the size. I mean, people just literally rotated and went back downstairs again. But I was immediately thought, well, I can do something here. I was excited.
So why are you excited? What do you think you can do with this little tiny flat?
Well, I think I can make it a lot bigger. And one of the things about this property is that the walls either side of it actually sail over the roof. And I can make it a lot wider by building between them without too much extra work.
So how are you going to do that?
Well, basically take the roof off. I mean, when this place is underway, halfway through, all you'll see here is a floor. There'll be nothing else, just a floor, the 2 outside walls, and then we'll start again.
So you've got quite a lot of planning hoops to jump through. Have you contacted the council?
Yeah, I've spoken to the council. I mean, I haven't got planning, but I've discussed it loosely with them, and I think I'll be OK. However, I've also got to get past the freeholder. And I also spoke to them before I went to the auction, and they were good enough to email me something to say they would be, yeah, happy to go along with it.
I'm impressed. Colin's contacted all the right people so as to avoid any nasty surprises and, like a true professional, has done his homework.
I've been doing the homework. Yeah.
So is your game to convert this from a studio to a 1 or 2 bedroom flat, possibly?
1 bedroom. I think it'll make a nice 1 bedroom flat.
And how big will it be? How much extra square footage will you be adding?
Well, I think I've worked out it's about an extra 13 square metres, which is about 150 extra square feet, which as I understand it, around here, you get an extra £1,000 a square foot, so that's quite a substantial...
So that really is substantially going to add value to
I
this
hope
property.
so, yeah, I hope so.
And you only need to look next door and you can see quite a lot of people along this road have gone ahead and done that.
Indeed, and that's why I'm not so worried about planning. I think it'll be OK.
And what's it going to be like inside? Is it going to be, you know, uber contemporary and cool, or are you just going to leave it pretty neutral?
No, I think it'll be quite contemporary. I think, actually, if you're going to do something and you are passionate about it, you've really got to follow your instincts, and my instincts are to make this very contemporary.
How much do you think this property would be worth once you've done that?
Well, I don't want to be...
Go on.
Too common, but I think it'll be around 400 or in excess of 400,000.
So what sort of money have you got to throw at this? Because it's obviously going to cost you a fair bit to take the roof off of this property.
It is, it is. I mean, I've set aside around 60,000 to do the work.
So, Colin, what do you do now?
Well, this is going to be my business now. Unfortunately, I was in a retail business up until last year, and that folded after 11 years. So I kind of had to think, what am I going to do now? I mean, there wasn't really much I was drawn towards, and B, I really wanted to do. So I sold my house. I'd actually built my previous house. It was my dream house, but I thought, well, there's only one way I can do this, and that's so I sold my place, I've rented another place, and with the money I've had left over, I've started doing this.
And hopefully you're going to be climbing back up the property ladder.
Well, I hope so, yeah.
Good luck with this.
Thank you.
I cannot wait to see what it's like when you've finished it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Wow, Colin has got some pretty ambitious plans for this place. Replacing the roof. Now, the neighbours are one step ahead and they've already done so. So hopefully he won't have any planning problems. The question is, will the extra space bring in the extra cash? You can join us later in the programme and find out what happens.